Revenge of the Forgotten Earth's Final Hope. What if humanity's survival rested on one final chance to outwit an alien empire that's known no mercy? In this story, you'll witness how far humanity is willing to go to fight for what was stolen, as the scales of power shift beyond our control. The opening scene is a haunting reminder of Earth's last stand. The camera pans over a desolate landscape, showing the remains of once thriving cities now reduced to smoldering ruins. The narrator's voice echoes through the silence, recounting humanity's struggle against a powerful alien empire, the Vorthax, that has systematically decimated Earth's defenses. Desperation hangs in the air as the remnants of humanity are driven into hiding, but the burning question remains, can Earth ever hope to rise again? As the camera zooms in on a ragtag group of survivors, scientists, soldiers, and former civilians turned resistance fighters, the stakes are immediately clear: this is humanity's final chance. The Vorthax have taken everything: Earth's resources, its culture, its people, and humanity is now pushed to the brink. The survivors have one goal: revenge. Brief overview of the entire video. The video traces the journey of Earth's remaining resistance, who rally around a figure known only as the Forgotten. This mysterious leader has been lurking in the shadows, known only to a few as a symbol of vengeance. Their plan: infiltrate the Vorthax's stronghold and recover what was taken, humanity's last hope, a weapon of unimaginable power. The Forgotten story is as much about personal revenge as it is about the survival of the species. As the narrative unfolds, we meet key figures: Captain Solara, a hardened military leader seeking justice for the loss of her family, and Dr. Milo, a scientist whose experiments might hold the key to turning the tide of the war. Tensions rise within the group, each person driven by personal vendettas and a thirst for revenge against the Vorthax. But as the mission becomes more dangerous, alliances are tested, and the line between justice and vengeance grows increasingly blurred. Key events: the survivors' bold assault on a Vorthax supply base, where they discover that Earth's very survival might hinge on a forgotten artifact, an ancient weapon buried deep in the alien empire's capital. Betrayal within the ranks, as a seemingly loyal member is revealed to be a Vorthax sleeper agent, undermining the mission from within. A climactic showdown in the heart of the Vorthax's empire, where the true nature of the Forgotten's past is revealed, exposing painful secrets that force everyone to question their motives. Building suspense and engaging emotions, as the survivors face insurmountable odds, they must grapple not only with their physical survival but with the weight of the decisions they've made and the emotional toll of their quest. The tension escalates with each loss, and the viewer is constantly left wondering, who will survive? The stakes are raised as the Forgotten's personal journey intertwines with the larger struggle for humanity's future. Why stay tuned? The emotional highs are hard to ignore: the fleeting moments of hope, the crushing betrayals, and the realization that even in the face of utter destruction, humanity is capable of extraordinary resilience. This video isn't just a fight for survival, it's a fight for redemption, revenge, and the chance to reclaim what was once lost. The twists and turns in the story will keep you on the edge of your seat until the very end, making it impossible to look away. Can humanity find a way to avenge its past and secure its future, or will the cost of revenge be too great? This is a journey of survival, revenge, and transformation, where nothing is as it seems, and every decision could be the one that determines Earth's final hope. The world as it once was is gone. No more green fields stretching toward the horizon, no more sunrises that bathe the Earth in golden light, no more cities humming with life and innovation. Earth has been reduced to a barren, lifeless husk, its bones picked clean by the relentless forces of an alien empire. The planet is a shadow of its former self, a testament to the harsh reality of a species driven to extinction. The sky above is a murky gray, perpetually clouded by thick ash and smoke. What little sunlight filters through is muted, casting a sickly pallor over the land. The air smells faintly of sulfur and charred metal, a scent that clings to everything: the soil, the rotting remnants of civilization, the cold ruins that used to be cities. The landscape is pocked with craters, scars of battles fought and lost. Forests that once stretched across continents now lie in ruin, their trees nothing more than twisted, lifeless stumps. The oceans, once teeming with life, are now polluted, their depths obscured by floating debris and wreckage from human ships and alien machines. In the distance, the remnants of a broken skyline rise like jagged teeth against the horizon. Once, this place had been the heart of a thriving metropolis, but now it is little more than a hollowed-out shell. Buildings lean at impossible angles, their facades crumbling under the weight of time and neglect. The roads are cracked and fragmented, twisted by the destructive forces of war. Every so often, the faint hum of alien drones echoes across the landscape, a reminder that Earth is no longer the home of its people. It is a prison, a battlefield, and a monument to humanity's failure. Above the planet, the stars seem far away, distant and cold. The vastness of space feels overwhelming, an ever-present reminder that the war is far from over. The alien empire, the Vorthax, control the skies now. Their ships, dark and imposing, drift across the atmosphere like shadows, surveying their conquered territory with relentless precision. These ships are the heralds of death, their black hulls gleaming in the weak light of the sun. They bring destruction wherever they go, laying waste to anything that dares to resist their rule. Earth's once proud military forces, now scattered and disorganized, stand no chance against the might of the Vorthax. The war has been long, a conflict stretching over decades. It began as a skirmish, a series of raids by the Vorthax on Earth's outer colonies. What was once thought of as an isolated threat soon became an all-consuming nightmare. The Vorthax, with their advanced technology and ruthless tactics, swept across the planet, toppling governments and military defenses with terrifying efficiency. Earth's greatest cities fell in mere days, their inhabitants caught in the crossfire of an invasion they were unprepared for. There was no grand resistance, no last-minute rallying of Earth's greatest minds and warriors. There was only survival. Those who escaped the initial onslaught took refuge in the underground, hiding in the shadow of their own destruction. They became known as the Forgotten, the last remnants of a once great species that now clung to life in the darkness. These survivors have learned to live in the rubble of their former world, scavenging for scraps, hiding from the ever-watchful eyes of the Vorthax, and fighting to hold on to what little is left. The Forgotten are not the only ones left on Earth. The Vorthax have transformed the planet, turning it into a resource extraction facility, draining its minerals, its atmosphere, and its very life force to fuel their empire's expansion. The planet itself seems to be dying, a slow, agonizing death brought on by the alien conquerors. Even nature seems to have recoiled from the devastation, with plants wilting and animals mutating under the weight of environmental collapse. Despite the hopelessness of the situation, there are whispers, rumors that a new resistance has begun to form, a scattered band of rebels who seek to reclaim what was taken. They are led by someone known only as the Forgotten, a figure whose identity is a mystery, their motives shrouded in secrecy. This leader is said to possess knowledge of an ancient weapon hidden deep within the heart of the Vorthax Empire, an artifact capable of turning the tide of the war. But the road to this weapon is fraught with peril. The Forgotten, if they exist, are not just fighting for revenge, they are fighting for the future of the entire human race. The tone of the world is grim, a world stripped of hope. The Earth's once vibrant cultures have been all but erased, their memory now a faint echo in the wind. In the ruins of civilization, the few who survive do so by scavenging, fighting off hunger and fear with whatever scraps they can find. There is no peace, no solace. Every day is a battle for survival, a struggle to hold on to something, anything, that resembles the world they once knew. Yet, amid the ashes of this dying planet, there are sparks of resistance. The air is thick with the scent of burnt wood and metal, but there are also signs of life. A patch of grass here, a flicker of light from a hidden campfire there. The sound of boots crunching against the shattered ground, the murmur of voices in the darkness, these are the faint signs of defiance, the quiet hum of hope amid the chaos. The survivors, despite their weariness and the overwhelming odds against them, carry within them something the Vorthax cannot take, the will to fight. The will to avenge the Earth that was lost, to reclaim what was stolen, to protect the children yet unborn from the horrors that have consumed the world. Their spirits may be battered, but they are far from broken. In this new world, the future is uncertain. The Vorthax have their eyes set on complete domination, their forces spread across the globe, their technology nearly invincible. But the survivors, the Forgotten, are not finished yet. Their struggle may seem hopeless, their chances slim, but as long as there is breath in their lungs, they will fight. The war is far from over, and the final hope for humanity lies in the hands of those who dare to stand against the darkness. The landscape is a scarred reminder of the price of survival, a place where every step is a risk, every breath a challenge. Yet amid the desolation, the Forgotten stand defiant, their eyes fixed on the horizon, knowing that this world, no matter how broken, is still worth fighting for. Scene 2, introducing the conflict. Revenge of the Forgotten Earth's final hope. The wind picks up over the barren landscape, carrying with it the distant hum of a Vorthax patrol ship, its massive, black silhouette cutting across the grim sky. The remnants of a once bustling city sprawl beneath, now a maze of ruins and crumbling infrastructure. Amidst the wreckage, a small group of survivors moves cautiously, their eyes constantly scanning for danger, their footsteps muffled by the dust. In the lead is a figure, cloaked and hooded, moving with a sense of purpose. They are the Forgotten, a name whispered in the shadows, a figure who has become the symbol of humanity's last stand. But beneath the surface of hope they represent lies an undercurrent of uncertainty, of tension. The Forgotten may be the hope of the people, but they are also carrying a heavy burden, an ancient weapon, an artifact that might be the key to Earth's salvation. Or its destruction. The first hint of conflict emerges when the group approaches a dilapidated outpost, a former military bunker now abandoned by its original defenders. Inside, there is a flicker of movement. It's too quiet, eerily so. A scout ventures forward, the sound of their boots echoing through the hollow structure, when suddenly, a sharp metallic clang breaks the silence, followed by a low, menacing growl. The group freezes. Through the narrow doorway, a pair of gleaming red eyes appear in the dark. Then another. And another. It's too late to retreat. Out of the shadows, a pack of Vorthax-infested creatures, beasts genetically engineered by the alien empire, pounces. They are no longer purely animal, but twisted horrors, their bodies a grotesque combination of machine and flesh. The survivors react quickly, weapons drawn, but even in the face of this immediate threat, there's a palpable hesitation. There is no time to fight, and no guarantee that they will win. As the skirmish erupts, the true weight of the survivors' situation becomes clear. It's not just the Vorthax they're fighting, it's their own survival against a world that is actively trying to kill them. Every step they take through the ruins is fraught with danger. Trust is a luxury they can't afford. Every fight is a reminder that even small victories come at a heavy price. The tension doesn't just come from the external forces, but from within the group itself. Whispers start to rise among them. Doubts. Fear. Some question the mission, the journey, and the true power of the artifact. What if it's a trap? What if the weapon they seek is just another lie the Vorthax have planted to lure them into a final, fatal confrontation? Can they even trust the Forgotten, whose past is cloaked in mystery? There is too much at stake to rely on hope alone. After barely surviving the creature ambush, they make their way deeper into the outpost, where an encrypted message awaits, a cryptic message from an unknown source, revealing the location of a Vorthax base that may hold the key to unlocking the weapon's power. But there's a catch, it's inside the heart of the Vorthax Empire. To get there, they will have to infiltrate one of the most heavily guarded places on Earth, an obstacle more dangerous than anything they've faced so far. The tension builds as the survivors argue over the next steps. One faction wants to go for the weapon immediately, risking everything for a chance at revenge. Another, more cautious group wants to find more intel first, avoid the Vorthax patrols, and wait for the right moment. The clock is ticking, and with every passing hour, Earth's last hope grows thinner. What's at stake? The future of humanity itself. The chance to reclaim Earth, to save their dying planet, to rise up against the Vorthax. But with every step into enemy territory, there's something else to lose, hope. Their bodies may survive, but their spirits might not. And even if they succeed, there's a terrible truth they must confront: the price of victory could be more than they can bear. The survivors have barely caught their breath after the ambush in the outpost. Their faces are grim, smeared with dirt and blood, but there's no time to linger. They have a purpose, a mission that could save what little remains of Earth. But as the group regroups, a strange, unanticipated sound cuts through the silence, a shrill, high-pitched tone, unlike anything they've heard before. It's coming from a small device in the hands of the Forgotten. The group falls into uneasy silence. The Forgotten, whose face remains obscured by a hood and scarf, stares at the device, a small, glowing orb that pulses with a strange energy. For a moment, it seems as though the survivors are frozen in place, the tension thickening the air around them. The Forgotten's fingers hover over the orb, trembling slightly, as if debating whether to activate it. A decision has to be made. The orb is the key to everything, the only lead to the Vorthax's most secret base. Yet, something doesn't feel right. Suddenly, the device begins to hum louder. It's not just the orb, it's a signal, a message. The Forgotten presses a button, and a holographic projection flickers to life, showing a figure in a dark, shattered room. The figure is familiar, yet something about them feels wrong, distorted, like a fragment of memory. The voice crackles, distorted by static, but its words are unmistakable. "We've been waiting for you," or the Forgotten. The artifact is not what you think. The real weapon lies in the heart of the Vorthax. It can change everything, but at what cost? Before the survivors can react, the message abruptly cuts off, the hologram vanishing into thin air. For a moment, all is still. The group exchanges uneasy glances. This is the moment that changes everything. The Forgotten's hands tighten around the orb, their brow furrowing as the realization sinks in. The weapon they've been searching for, the artifact that promises salvation, might not be what they thought. The Vorthax, who have mastered the art of manipulation, have planted lies before. Is this just another trick to lead them into a trap? The tone of the message was cryptic, and the sudden appearance of the mysterious figure feels like more of a warning than a clue. It's enough to make anyone question everything. "What does it mean?" one of the survivors asks, their voice trembling. The uncertainty is palpable. "What's that real weapon?" The Forgotten hesitates. The air feels heavy now, as though the weight of their past decisions is closing in. The group can sense it, a shift, a tightening of the bonds that had once seemed so solid. The cracks in the plan are widening. What was once a mission for revenge and redemption is now a murky quest filled with more questions than answers. "We go forward," the Forgotten says quietly, but with resolve. "We can't turn back now. The Vorthax are already aware of us. We've come this far, and there's no going back. We will find the truth." But not everyone agrees. One of the group members, a younger soldier with a history of rebellious streaks, steps forward, shaking his head. "This feels wrong. We don't even know who that was, or what they really meant. They could be leading us into a trap." Another survivor, an older woman, grips her weapon tightly, looking to the horizon. "We have to trust the path we've chosen. We've already sacrificed too much. If we pull back now, it's over. We don't get another chance." The conflict within the group erupts, rising like an invisible storm. Some voices demand caution, wanting to investigate further and gather more intelligence before rushing in. Others are ready to march forward, feeling the pull of the prophecy, the weapon that will change everything, believing that now, after all they've endured, they can't afford hesitation. The Forgotten looks over the group, their expression unreadable beneath the shadow of their hood. A decision must be made. The distant hum of another Vorthax patrol ship grows louder, and the urgency in the air becomes undeniable. Time is running out. The Vorthax are closing in, and any hesitation now could lead to their total annihilation. Suddenly, the ground shakes, just slightly at first, then more violently. The building around them groans and cracks, sending dust and debris raining down from the ceiling. The survivors freeze. Something is happening outside, something big. The vibrations intensify. Without warning, a deafening explosion shakes the earth, followed by a blinding flash of light. The floor beneath their feet shudders as if the entire outpost is coming apart. The survivors scramble to their feet, their eyes wide with terror. A massive Vorthax ship appears overhead, its size incomprehensible. The shockwave from its arrival reverberates through the shattered ruins, forcing everyone to duck for cover. The ship's descent creates a thunderous roar, and the shadows of its soldiers begin to drop onto the ground. The Forgotten grips the orb tightly, now fully aware of the stakes. There is no choice anymore. They can either face this incoming storm head-on, or they can retreat and risk losing the last chance humanity has to fight back. The Vorthax are here. The clock has run out. The survivors are forced into action. With no time to debate, they move toward the heart of the outpost, toward the looming unknown that awaits, driven by the remnants of hope and the overwhelming fear of what could be lost. The war for humanity's future begins now. The survivors are on the move now, urgency in every step. The ground beneath their feet trembles as the Vorthax ship hovers above the outpost, a massive dark silhouette against the fractured sky. Its engines hum with an ominous energy, and the air crackles with the sound of advanced alien technology, a constant reminder of how small they are in this war. They push forward, past the collapsing infrastructure of the outpost. What was once a symbol of human strength now feels like a tomb. Every corner they turn could be their last, every step further into the ruins taking them deeper into enemy territory. But retreat is no longer an option. The blast of light from the Vorthax ship was a signal, a harbinger of the attack to come. The survivors know that if they're caught in the open, there will be no escape. If they don't act now, they will be buried under the weight of the Vorthax Empire. The Forgotten leads them forward, but even they seem burdened. There is no sign of hesitation, but there's something darker in their eyes now. A weight, a responsibility that has grown heavier with each passing moment. The survivors might be the last hope for humanity, but what are they truly fighting for? The artifact? Revenge? Survival? They reach a narrow, crumbling hallway that leads toward an old vault. The holographic message from the mysterious figure, the real weapon is in the heart of the Vorthax, still hangs in the air, like a riddle waiting to be solved. But their time is running out. The blast from the Vorthax ship has scattered the dust of the ruined city, and soon, the first wave of patrols will hit the area. Their only chance is to get to the vault before it's too late. But even inside the vault, there is no safety. The doors groan and scrape as they pry them open. Inside, they find rows of sealed containers, materials, equipment, possibly even weapons. But something's wrong. A hiss fills the air as they enter, the smell of stale air and decayed electronics heavy in their lungs. The walls are lined with scorch marks, remnants of what must have been an earlier explosion, long before the survivors arrived. There is no one here. No guards. No Vorthax presence. It's a trap. Before they can retreat, the door slams shut, the hum of the alien technology intensifying. A sudden, deafening siren blares from within the vault, followed by the unmistakable sound of a Vorthax assault squad arriving at the outer perimeter. The Forgotten slams their fist into the nearest wall, cursing under their breath. "We've been set up," they mutter, voice tight with frustration. The trap has been sprung. "Can we fight our way out?" one of the survivors asks, breath shallow. They are all on edge, the tension mounting with each passing second. The Forgotten looks at them, but their eyes reveal no answers. Instead, the walls of the vault begin to shift, the sound of machinery coming to life as the doors lock into place. Panic surges among the survivors. They can hear the Vorthax soldiers outside, their alien tongues echoing in the corridors. They have minutes, maybe less. "We don't have a choice," the Forgotten finally says, voice steely. "We move through the vault. Find another way out. Stick together." They move deeper into the labyrinthine corridors, every turn a risk, every shadow a potential threat. The vault was once a place of safety, and now, it's their cage. And they're not alone. There are still secrets hidden here. The deeper they go, the more they uncover, crates marked with alien symbols, strange devices, and most unsettling of all, the remains of human bodies. People who tried to escape. People who failed. Each one is a grim reminder of the stakes. This could be them. This could be the end. The emotional toll begins to crack open. A soldier, young and once hopeful, collapses against the cold metal walls. His eyes are wide with disbelief as he stares at the human corpses scattered among the wreckage. "These people, they thought they could win," he whispers, voice trembling. "How many of us will die trying?" Another survivor, a seasoned fighter, grabs him by the shoulder, shaking him roughly. "We've come this far. We finish it. You have to keep moving. The words feel hollow, though. There is no true comfort to be found here, only the cold, crushing weight of reality. For each of them, the journey has taken a toll. The soldier's arm aches from carrying too many weapons, the older survivor's breath is labored, her knees buckling under the stress of their flight. The forgotten, once a figure of mystery and resolve, now walks with the weariness of someone who knows they are pushing themselves toward a precipice, a moment when the cost of everything will be too high to bear. Their resolve is tested when they come across a small chamber within the vault. It contains a large, metallic device, glowing faintly in the low light, a second weapon, or at least, that's what it looks like. The forgotten hesitates. This is the artifact. Or is it? As the others close in on it, one of them, a scientist who had once worked on the front lines of the war, steps forward, his face drawn and uncertain. We need to be careful. We don't know what this is. His hands tremble as they hover over the device. This could be the Vorthax's true weapon, a trap in disguise. The forgotten steps forward, unyielding. We're already in the trap. It's too late to stop now. But the question lingers in the air, what will they sacrifice? Every decision, every move, feels like a step closer to something irreversible. The vault is collapsing around them. Time is slipping through their fingers. And yet, the survivors keep moving forward, propelled by the fleeting hope that the weapon they've been sent to find will change everything. But at what cost? As they uncover more pieces of the Vorthax's cruel legacy, they realize one inescapable truth: no one leaves this war unscarred. The journey has already begun to break them, and soon, they'll have to face the fact that the ultimate weapon may come with a price they're not willing, or able, to pay. The walls of the vault continue to groan and shake as the survivors move deeper into the labyrinth of metal and rusted passageways. Their breath comes in quick gasps, the air heavy with dust and tension. The faint glow of their torches flickers against the cold walls, casting long shadows that seem to stretch like fingers, reaching out to claim them. They've been running for hours, driven by desperation. The Vorthax are closing in, patrols scouring the area outside, their heavy boots echoing through the halls. The survivors are forced to keep their movements sharp, every sound amplified in the silence of the abandoned vault. There's no room for error. Every step could bring them closer to death, but there is no choice but to keep moving forward. The forgotten leads the group, their face hard as stone, the weight of their burden pressing down on them. The cryptic holographic message, the device, the weapons, they all point to one thing: the artifact. But now, doubts creep in. The more they uncover, the more it becomes clear that they are not just fighting the Vorthax, they are fighting a far more insidious force, their own desperation. Finally, they reach a large chamber, its ceiling high and covered in cracked glass. The dim light from their torches bounces off the shards, casting broken, distorted reflections across the walls. At the center of the room is a massive, alien device, its shape angular and cold, an intricate mesh of technology and organic matter. The survivors stop in their tracks. This is it, the artifact, the weapon they've been sent to find. But as they approach, something unexpected happens. The forgotten pauses, their hand outstretched toward the device, fingers trembling. A deep, almost imperceptible hum fills the room, vibrating through their very bones. The walls begin to pulse with a strange energy, and the device before them flickers to life, casting a sickly green light across the room. It's not just the artifact, it's alive. The air thickens as the truth begins to sink in. This is no simple weapon. This is the heart of the Vorthax's war machine. A living, breathing entity that has been dormant, waiting for the right moment to awaken. The device is not just a tool of destruction, it is the key to everything the Vorthax have built. It is their empire, their power, their very reason for domination. And now it's in their hands. The forgotten steps back, eyes wide with shock, their mind racing to comprehend the enormity of what they've uncovered. This is what they've been searching for. This is the weapon that can destroy the Vorthax. But something isn't right. The room feels too still, too quiet. And then, the voice comes, a low, raspy whisper that seems to come from all around them, from the very walls themselves. It is too late, forgotten. You have awoken what was never meant to rise. The survivors freeze, their eyes scanning the room in panic. The voice is deep, ancient, and the language is unfamiliar, alien. But there's something undeniably human in its tone. It speaks with an intelligence, with a knowing. A warning. The device pulses again, the energy surging, and the room begins to shift, walls twisting, the floor warping beneath their feet. The survivors stagger, disoriented as the very structure of the vault seems to collapse around them. The Forgotten stares at the device with newfound understanding. This is the real weapon, one of the survivors mutters in horror, voice trembling. It's not just a tool, it's alive. A bioorganic weapon, a living being, and we've just woken it. The Forgotten's expression hardens. No, we didn't wake it. It was always awake. The realization crashes down on them, the Vorthax did not build this weapon. They found it. The survivors back away from the device, but it's too late. The entire vault begins to hum with a terrible, foreign energy, the walls warping as though the building itself is alive, shifting, reconfiguring. It's as though the entire facility was designed to house this entity, to keep it contained. And now, it's free. A new wave of terror surges through the group as they realize the full weight of their discovery. The artifact, this weapon, is not just a key to victory, it is the heart of the Vorthax's reign. It is their power source, their control. Destroying it will not bring salvation. It will only bring the end of everything. The Forgotten steps forward, their eyes narrowing. We've made a grave mistake. The survivors look to them, panic rising in their chests. The message had promised salvation, but this revelation shatters everything they thought they knew. The stakes have shifted, and there is no turning back. This isn't about revenge, the Forgotten whispers, voiceful of regret. It never was. The Vorthax didn't conquer Earth for the weapon, they conquered it to protect it. To protect this. The ground beneath them begins to crack, and the air hums with the terrifying power of the creature within the device. The survivors are trapped. There's no way out. The only option is to confront the true enemy, not just the Vorthax, but the very weapon they've come to wield. As the vault begins to collapse around them, the survivors realize that the war they thought they were fighting is far from over. They are no longer fighting for the Earth. They are fighting to survive against a force that was never meant to be unleashed. And even if they succeed in destroying the weapon, it may be too late to undo the damage they've done. The Forgotten's mind races, their worldview shattering with the revelation. They thought they were on the path to redemption, to reclaiming Earth for humanity. But now, that path seems doomed, worse, it may never have existed in the first place. And in that moment, the full weight of the conflict hits them. What if this weapon was never meant to be destroyed? What if humanity itself is the real enemy? They have no choice but to fight for a future they may never see. A future they may have already doomed. The room trembles with an unnatural energy, the walls contorting and groaning as the ancient, bioorganic weapon pulses with a terrifying life of its own. The survivors are pressed against the edges of the chamber, their faces pale, hearts pounding in their chests. The sound of the Vorthax outside, their voices distorted by the shifting walls, grows louder, more insistent. But it's not the Vorthax they need to fear now. It's the creature, the weapon they've just unleashed. The Forgotten stands at the center of the room, their back to the survivors, eyes locked onto the device in front of them. They can feel it, the immense power emanating from it. The artifact is no longer a tool, a weapon to wield, it is something else entirely. It's the beating heart of the Vorthax Empire, and it has awakened. There is no going back. We shouldn't have come, the Forgotten mutters, their voice hollow, full of regret. This was never our fight. One of the survivors, a sharp-eyed young woman, steps forward, gripping her weapon tightly. What do we do now? Her voice trembles with uncertainty, but there is no time for indecision. There's no room left for doubt. They can feel the oppressive weight of the weapon's power, its sentience, its hunger. The Forgotten turns to face the group, their eyes hardening. We stop it, or we die trying. Before anyone can react, the ground beneath them cracks open with a violent force. The walls shimmer with an eerie glow, and the device at the center of the room shifts, its metallic tendrils stretching toward them. The air fills with a low, guttural hum, a sound that seems to vibrate through their very bones. It is the weapon itself, awakening, fully aware of their presence. The Forgotten takes a step forward, their breath steady despite the chaos swirling around them. The tension in the air is suffocating, but they stand firm, focusing on the one thing that could stop the weapon, the core at the center of the device. "This is our only chance," the Forgotten says, their voice like steel. "The core is the heart of it. If we destroy it, the weapon dies." One of the survivors, a grizzled man with a past full of bitter defeats, shakes his head, fear creeping into his voice. "It's not that simple. We don't know what it's connected to. If we destroy it, we might bring down the whole Vorthax Empire. Or worse, we might trigger a chain reaction. We don't know what it can do." The Forgotten looks at him, their eyes cold. "I don't care. This ends now." Before anyone can stop them, the Forgotten charges toward the core, a blinding flash of light erupting from the weapon's tendrils. It's faster than anything they've seen, its movement a blur as it snaps toward them like the strike of a serpent. A surge of energy blasts through the room, and the survivors scatter, diving for cover as the weapon releases a wave of destructive force. The room buckles under the strain, a shockwave sending everyone crashing to the ground. The Forgotten is thrown back, their body slamming into the floor with a sickening thud. Blood trickles from a wound on their forehead, but they get up, their eyes alight with fury. "Get to the core," the Forgotten screams, voice hoarse with determination. The young woman from earlier, eyes wide with panic, rushes forward, her hands shaking as she grabs a heavy, alien blade from the ground. She charges toward the core, weaving through the tendrils that lash out, nearly impaling her with each swing. The creature is alive, and it feels them, aware of their every move. In the chaos, a sudden realization strikes the Forgotten. The weapon isn't just a weapon, it's a mind. A sentient force that feeds off the fear, the desperation of those who approach it. The survivors are pawns in its game, and every move they make only feeds its power. "You have to destroy it now," the Forgotten shouts. "No hesitation." The young woman reaches the core, her hands trembling as she raises the alien blade above her head. But as she brings it down, a tendril shoots out with lightning speed, wrapping around her arm, pulling her toward the center of the device. She screams in terror, her body convulsing under the pull of the weapon. In that moment, everything slows. The Forgotten watches in horror as the woman is drawn into the heart of the creature, the light from the core intensifying, bathing the room in a sickly green hue. The survivors can only watch, helpless, as she is swallowed whole. "No," the Forgotten roars, rushing forward despite the overwhelming odds. But as they reach the core, the room shifts again. The walls begin to crack open, revealing a hidden chamber beneath the device, a vast, swirling abyss that seems to stretch on forever. The weapon pulses again, more violently this time, and the Forgotten knows, deep down, that they've reached the point of no return. The device begins to hum louder, and the ground shakes violently. The ceiling begins to collapse, and the survivors know their time is running out. The Vorthax are closing in, the shockwaves from the fight alerting them to the presence of intruders. The Forgotten's mind races, calculating their next move, the only option left: destroy it. Now! With all their strength, the Forgotten drives a final strike into the core of the weapon, a surge of energy coursing through their body as the blade sinks deep into its heart. The weapon screams, an inhuman, chilling sound, and the room erupts in a blinding flash of light. Everything goes black. When the light fades, the survivors are lying in the remains of the shattered chamber, the weapon's power now gone. The Vorthax outside are silent. The world is still. But the cost of victory is too great. The young woman is gone, swallowed by the weapon, a casualty in the final confrontation. The Forgotten stands amidst the wreckage, their chest heaving, body battered, but alive. They are the last one standing, one of the few remaining survivors. The war is over, but the true toll of the battle is only just beginning. The survivors may have stopped the weapon, but in doing so, they've opened the door to a new kind of struggle, the struggle to rebuild, to reckon with the cost of their choices, and to face a world forever changed by what they've done. There is no turning back. The silence is deafening. The wreckage of the vault lies in ruins, its walls shattered, its floors cracked open like a wound. The pulsating hum of the weapon has ceased, its power extinguished, and the oppressive energy that once filled the room is now gone. But in its place, a profound emptiness remains, an absence that echoes through the bones of the survivors. The Forgotten stands at the center of the room, blood still dripping from their wounds, but their eyes are empty, distant. They have won, but the victory feels hollow. The weapon, the heart of the Vorthax Empire, lies in ruins, its control over the alien invaders broken, but at what cost? Around them, the remaining survivors sift through the wreckage, sorting through the remains of the destroyed device, searching for something, anything, to salvage. There is no celebration, no relief. The weight of what they've lost hangs heavy in the air, and every face that looks back at the Forgotten is filled with sorrow, the weight of their shared grief pressing down on them. Among the survivors, there is a hushed, broken silence. The young woman, the one who had made the final attempt to destroy the core, is gone. Her body was claimed by the weapon, a casualty of their desperate fight. Her loss is a wound that no victory can heal. One of the older survivors, a battle-worn veteran who had fought in countless wars, approaches the Forgotten slowly. His face is drawn, eyes tired, but there's a quiet respect in his gaze. "We did what we had to do," he says softly, voice rough with exhaustion. "But we didn't win anything." "Not really." The Forgotten doesn't answer right away, their gaze fixed on the ruined remnants of the alien device, the twisted metal that once held such unimaginable power. They had come here to save humanity, to reclaim Earth, to stop the Vorthax. And they had succeeded, in a way. The alien forces would retreat, the threat to the planet gone for now, but the cost of their success is greater than they had ever imagined. What was it all for? The Forgotten murmurs, almost to themselves. What did we really destroy? The veteran places a hand on their shoulder, a silent gesture of solidarity. You saved what was left of humanity. That's what you did. The Vorthax are gone. The weapon's destroyed. There's no going back, but you gave us a future. The Forgotten doesn't respond immediately, but the words settle in their chest, the heaviness of them mixing with a sense of reluctant acceptance. A future. It's a vague notion, an uncertain promise, but for the first time in a long while, it doesn't seem entirely impossible. The survivors gather in a quiet, somber circle, each one lost in their own thoughts. The young woman's absence is felt by all, and though they didn't know her for long, her sacrifice has left an indelible mark on them. Her memory will live on, a quiet reminder of the price of survival. The Forgotten takes one last look at the wreckage, the devastation of the vault, the destruction of the weapon, and then turns toward the distant horizon, where the sun is beginning to break through the clouds, casting the first light of dawn onto the ruined city. The war is over, but the rebuilding has only just begun. "We'll rebuild," the Forgotten says, the resolve in their voice stronger now, though tinged with the weight of their choices. "We'll make something better out of what's left. It's all we can do." The survivors nod, a quiet agreement passing between them. They fought, they've lost, but they have survived. And that, in the end, is what matters most. As the sun rises over the shattered remnants of Earth, the survivors begin their journey forward. There are no guarantees, no certainty. Only the faint hope that, in the wake of destruction, humanity might find a way to rebuild and reclaim what was lost. The Forgotten, scarred but unbroken, leads them forward into an uncertain future, a future that, for the first time, might just be theirs to shape. The past is gone. The future, though uncertain, is theirs to fight for. The sun rises slowly over the ruins of Earth, casting long shadows across the barren landscape. The city that once stood as a testament to human achievement is now little more than a skeletal frame, remnants of buildings cracked and charred, their glass windows long shattered. The survivors move through the desolate streets, carrying what little they have left. There's no music, no cheering. Just the quiet, heavy footsteps of a people who have seen the end of everything they once knew. The Forgotten walks at the front of the group, their face drawn and hardened, the weight of their choices evident in every step. They look up at the sky, where the first rays of the new day pierce the clouds, but there's no warmth to it. Not yet. Not after everything they've lost. The war is over. The weapon has been destroyed. The Vorthax have retreated. Earth is free, for now. But the price has been paid, and the future remains uncertain. A small camp has been set up in the heart of the city, where the survivors take shelter for the night. The remnants of the old world are scattered around them, reminders of what was once. A cracked picture frame, a shattered holographic screen, the remains of a family photo still clutched in someone's hand. These small fragments are all that's left of the life they once knew. The Forgotten sits by the campfire, their hands wrapped around a cup of water, staring into the flickering flames. Their mind is miles away, back at the vault, back to the moment they drove the final blow into the heart of the Vorthax weapon. The sacrifice of the young woman. The destruction of the alien empire. The burden of knowing that humanity may never truly be free of the shadow they've cast upon this world. It's over, one of the survivors says, sitting down beside them. We did it. The Forgotten doesn't respond immediately. The words feel hollow, a distant echo. The war may be over, but the scars run deep, so deep, they might never heal. Is it? The Forgotten finally asks, their voice low, almost a whisper. Are we really free? The survivor looks at them, puzzled. What do you mean? We stopped the Vorthax. We stopped the weapon. Earth is ours again. The Forgotten shakes their head, their eyes distant. We've destroyed one empire, yes. But we didn't destroy the idea behind it. We didn't stop the hunger, the greed, the need to control. The Vorthax were just the beginning. We don't know who else is out there, waiting. Watching. Waiting for us to rebuild so they can take what's left. The survivor shifts uncomfortably, the weight of those words sinking in. The Forgotten is right. The war against the Vorthax may have ended, but humanity's true battle has just begun. For freedom. For survival. For control of what's left of the world. We'll be ready, the survivor says, though there's a hesitation in their voice. We have to be. The Forgotten doesn't answer. Instead, they stare into the fire, their thoughts racing. What is the true cost of survival? What does it mean to rebuild a broken world when the very forces that brought it to ruin are still out there? Can they trust their own people to rise from the ashes, or are they doomed to repeat the same mistakes? Suddenly, a rustling noise breaks their reverie. One of the scouts, a young man with wild eyes, stumbles into the camp, out of breath and wide-eyed with fear. We have a problem, he says, his voice shaking. We found something else. The Forgotten stands immediately, their heart skipping a beat. What do you mean? What did you find? The scout pulls something from his pack, a small, sleek device. It's unlike anything the survivors have seen before. No markings. No clear origin. Just a strange, pulsating light at its core, as if it were alive, breathing. We don't know what it is, the scout continues, his voice filled with awe and dread. It came from beneath the city, deep below. We thought it was just another ruin, but this isn't like anything we've encountered before. The Forgotten takes the device from the scout, their hands shaking. It hums softly, a subtle vibration that seems to sync with their pulse. The survivors gather around, the flickering campfire casting eerie shadows on their faces. What is it? Someone asks, voice laced with uncertainty. I don't know, the Forgotten admits, their brow furrowing as they study the device. But we can't ignore it. Whatever it is, it's important. It's connected to something much larger than we realized. A tense silence falls over the group. The implications are clear. Even as they stand victorious over the remnants of the Vorthax, something far more dangerous lurks beneath the surface. This device could be the key to understanding a threat that has yet to reveal itself, or it could be the harbinger of something worse. We need to take this to the capital, the Forgotten says, their voice steady but filled with a growing sense of urgency. We need to know what this is, and what it means for the future of Earth. As they prepare to leave, the Forgotten takes one last look at the ruined city. The future is uncertain, and there are no guarantees. But there's one thing they know for sure: the battle for Earth isn't over. It's only just begun. As they move into the shadow of the city's skeletal remains, a dark thought lingers in the Forgotten's mind. What if the Vorthax were only one part of the puzzle? What if the true war isn't with them, but with the forces that created them? A low, distant rumble shakes the ground beneath their feet, a tremor that seems to come from deep below. The survivors freeze, looking around in alarm. And then, a voice, distant but unmistakable, echoes from beneath the earth, chilling and ancient. "We are coming." The ground trembles again, and the survivors exchange worried glances. The future is no longer just uncertain, it is a ticking clock, and the next chapter is already unfolding. A new enemy. A new threat. A force that has been waiting, hidden in the depths of Earth, for this moment. The Forgotten looks at the horizon, their heart heavy but determined. The war is far from over. And the real battle is only just beginning. Call to action. If you're curious to see what happens next, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and stay tuned for more, because the story of Earth's final hope is far from finished.